My Camaro has been out of commission for 2 weeks now because there's been a GM part strike. Nobody wants to freaking work at GM right now, so obviously everything is not available. Now I ordered a new alternator after going to the dyno. I absolutely fried it. I either overspun it or it just overheated and broke. We're gonna find out today when we pull it out of the car. And basically, I had to go on eBay, find a salvage car, basically that was sent to the junkyard, and we finally got a new alternator for the Camaro. So we can finally run some 60 to 130 times, and let's go ahead and throw this in the car to get it running again. Now I do think it's the alternator for two very obvious reasons. One, it left me stranded in a parking lot and I had to get the car towed. The only way that it would run was with a 30,000 amp battery pack running the car and providing voltage to the batteries. So obviously the alternator is not working because it's supposed to charge up the battery. And two, we have a service the battery charging system light on the car. So it's very obvious we have an alternator issue and we need to fix it. Now I did say that this thing came off of a salvage car in a junkyard, so it looks pretty beat. But as long as it works, I don't care about the condition of how it looks. I'm not even gonna clean it up. We're just gonna throw it on the car. It does look rough, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little concerning, but if it works, I can't complain. So we are gonna have to remove the intake boot, basically the entire intake, because every single belt has to come off this car, supercharger belt included. So this is gonna be a quick job. I don't think it's gonna take me more than 2 hours, but I've also never done an alternator before, so I can't really speak on it. We'll see though, shouldn't be too bad. So this is off, we don't need to take off the PCV. Next thing is to take the belt off and release tension. So first order of business here is to actually get the supercharger belt off. Oh Christ, oh man, rip my hands. You're definitely gonna get torn up from this, but it is what it is. We need to get this off. Oh! And now we're removing this factory belt. So release tension like this, and the belt just slides off. Probably should have remembered how that went on there, but it's okay. There's probably a diagram online. Not gonna lie, I'm taking out the tensioner right now, and this is a little bit more involving than I thought it would be. So we have to disassemble a lot to get to this, and then I don't even know how the alternator is going to come out because it has a horizontal bolt in it. That's not going to be fun, but just YouTube it, right? So now the alternator is pretty much all out. There's only one bolt holding it in, and it'll come out, but it's off the block. The mounting bracket is off, and now we got to lift the car up on this side, put a jack stand under it, and remove a horizontal bolt that goes to the block this way. These Camaros, man, it's hard to get the subframe, but there we go. That's the safe way to do it. Jack stand, not just leaving it on a jack. Mr. Devin here does oil changes on a jack only. Yeah. We're letting Mr. Devin with the smaller hands try and finesse this out. How's it going? It's a pain, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I feel like it's attached to something.
No, it's not. I unplugged everything. Absolutely everything. Jeez, bro, look at that pain. After mucho pain in the butt, we are finally finessing it out here. I had to take out a whole bunch of pulleys. Dude, I might have to take off the throttle body too. Or maybe yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can get it out. No. Got it? Definitely wasn't faked. But now we finally got it out. This was a pain, boys. Now, I'm not seeing any visual wear, but what I'll do for video purposes is take this to get inspected or test it at like AutoZone. They do it for free, and we'll see what they say about this. If this isn't the issue and I just spent all this time doing this.
Yeah, you're really sweating right now.
So the brand new alternator doesn't look brand new.
It does not.
Yikes. The other one looks like it's in better condition, but obviously it doesn't work unless we have another issue. Imagine I do all this work and it's some like a blown fuse or something like that. I will literally lose it.
Yeah.
It's actually a good experience though at the end of the day. So you're learning the stuff and I can't complain. We're just gonna be throwing this back in. I'm kind of fed up with this. It should be the same exact process, just in reverse.
And there you go.
That is some Devin freaking smart work right there. Let's go. He got the housing on. I was struggling with it. I was like, I can't get this on. He's like, hold up, let me hit it with the hammer. Just once.
Innovating.
Yeah, innovation at its finest, but this bolt hole is a pain on that freaking bracket. It is not lining up by a hair, so we're gonna have to keep beating it with the mallet until we get it.
Yep.
A few moments later.
Finally, we are done with this on about hour 7 now. I'm disgusting, sweaty. dirty, grimy, coolant on me, but I'm done.
Thoughts?
I really hope that doesn't break again because that was way too much work. Like there's a little work and then there's a lot of work. On a Mustang, alternator takes like 5 seconds. This, bro, it was torture. We're gonna see if all that hard work was in vain or if it actually went to good use in just a second when I start this car. So if the alternator was the fix, then the battery light will no longer flash. We'll see right now. Oh, maybe it fixed it. No service battery light so far, so I think that was the fix, fellas. And the battery voltage is slowly going up from 11 to 12.
The next day.
Well, it's sad to say that the alternator actually wasn't the fix for this car, but I did figure it out, and it was a lot simpler this entire time. Yes, I did waste time putting in a new alternator, but it was a good learning experience. So what I failed to realize is that Camaros actually have a set of fuses where the battery post is, and I guess I overloaded the circuit by going all on the 200 amp fuse, and that 200 amp fuse, which is battery post number 1, actually gives power to the alternator. So that's this wire right here. So if we don't have power to the alternator because the fuse was blown, then obviously the alternator isn't gonna work, and that was the problem the entire time. So it was simpler than changing out an alternator for 6+ hours. Just for educational purposes, I'm gonna teach you guys how I diagnose this. So this is the battery post, right? You have all your positives. These all receive power. They're not grounds whatsoever. It usually sits right here. I took it apart, but essentially I took a multimeter, which measures your voltage, and I put this on a negative or a ground like this, and I tested out each one of these posts, going from each one. So once I hit that 100 or that 200 amp one, like I said earlier, I didn't get any reading whatsoever. It'll tell you the voltage right here. And I didn't get any, so I knew there was a problem with it, took it apart, and saw that blown fuse, which looks like this. So this is an intact fuse. As you can see, the metal travels all the way through. It's still connected. This is a blown one. So this is gonna be a very simple fix. All I gotta do is go to a Chevy dealer. They're gonna give me a new post fuse. Well, there goes that. The dealership trip was a waste of time because this whole thing is on national back order along with every other part, just like the alternator. So that's great. It's nice owning a Chevy in 2023. Imagine you buy a 2022 Chevy Camaro and you can't even enjoy your car because the people decided to strike and not work. Yeah, everything's on back order. So if you own a Chevy in 2023, not even 2022, you are done for. You cannot get any parts. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I guess eBay it is and overpay for an entire battery junction thing, they call it.
2 weeks later.
So I was actually able to source one of these blown fuses or one of these fuse replacements off of eBay. Without eBay, fellas, this car would have never ran again. So it would have been on back order. I would have never got the part. Let's go ahead and throw it in the car and hopefully have it running. Well, not hopefully, this is the fix. So let's throw it in. So the new junction kind of just slips in right there. I disassembled it. It took a whole 2 seconds, and then we just got to make sure that we're plugging everything else in correctly. So I'm gonna look at the pictures I had of the car before, because I did take apart this entire thing, and then we're gonna evenly distribute the load. So that may have caused the fuse to blow last time. I thought my wiring could have caused this issue, but as you can tell, the alternator wire stands alone. So I think the alternator broke, contrary to what I thought before, overcharged or sent too much of a charge up there and blew the fuse, because my wiring is on a completely different battery post, not the one that blew out. So I'm just gonna keep it how it was because that worked with the port injection. It was perfect. Let's crank this car. I'm gonna check for that battery recharge, but it looks like it's holding voltage now. It's 13 point something volts. That's normal. I think we fixed our problem here. So yep, we did. The battery is finally retaining its charge. It's a good feeling to have this thing finally running after so long. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and definitely make sure to stay tuned to see this thing do some rips. I'm taking it to the track this week for sure.